What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bodacious Rant with Bernard Rye. We're talking about a movie I was looking forward to for a little bit. I don't know. I think it's one of those movies that nobody really expected or asked for, but it still happened. And it's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which is the direct sequel from Ghostbusters Afterlife that came out in, was it 2021 or 2020? 2021. That's when it came out, which is crazy to believe. It's already been 3 years, essentially. And this, as always, non-spoilers, guys, because we don't want to ruin it for you in case you do want to see it. So if you do like the video, please press the like button. You know, it's painless and all that good stuff. Don't forget to give us, ring the bell so we can stay up to date with notifications, or subscribe so you can just watch all the good stuff and, you know, keep growing the ranting community. We always appreciate it. So as I said, for those of you who have seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, this has the main characters from the last one with Paul Rudd as Gary Gruberson. He's always a joy. Carrie Coon as I forgot her first name, but she's the name.
Callie,
yeah,
right?
Callie Spengler, where she's, you know, the late Harold Ramsey's, aka Egon Spengler's daughter. And then we also have, I forgot that girl's name, but she looks a lot like Kiernan Shipka.
McKenna Grace.
McKenna Grace, that's it. Thank you. And Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. And then we're also joined by the same characters from the last one. The kid who played Podcast, don't remember his name. The girl that was in Madam Web. I know Celeste O'Connor. I remember that one. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, the lady who played the receptionist from the original movies. I don't remember her name. I apologize. And Ernie Hudson, who's always one of the favorites. And essentially, they're working back. They're back as Ghostbusters in New York, trying to walk the line of doing their jobs, but also getting crap from the local government, especially the main guy, the Mr. Peck from the very first movie. So I thought that was kind of joy to have him back. Again, these last two movies have done real well of bringing back the nostalgia and the greatness of the original ones, while trying to produce a modern spin on it. And this one's getting a little bit harsher reviews from critics, but I honestly really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I like seeing everybody come together for this one. I kind of got some Days of Future Past vibes, how it has like a new, younger cast mixed with the classic original cast. And it was just very fun. I thought it was a pretty cool villain as always. I think that's one thing Ghostbusters not get credit for. Some very interesting looking villains, in my opinion. But Bern, what did you think of this movie?
I'm not as high on it as you are. That's for sure. Just to be completely forthright. I mean, the Ghostbusters movies aren't exactly special to me. I do enjoy them, in particular the first one, but the second one I thought was decent. It was okay, and it overall as a franchise was never really my thing. I would watch it when a movie would come on, but it wasn't something I'm very particularly protective of or super fond of. So when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out in 2021, it was a nice surprise for me, because I was like, okay, this it's been a number of years since the last one, and to see if we're going to revive this franchise. Of course you have Jason Reitman, the son of the original director, and that movie came together in a surprisingly heartfelt and fun way, introducing us to new characters that I really enjoyed, and bringing back the old ones in a way that respected the past and sort of passed the torch on to this newer generation, which I was really down for. So, at the end of that movie, I was like, okay, I could see more of this. And this movie was what I was afraid the Ghostbusters Afterlife would be, where it was just sort of just a nostalgic cash grab. And that really hurts to say, because, again, like I mentioned, I did really like what they did with the last movie and what they do with the new characters, and I wanted to see more from them. But the way that they handled it all here was just a huge step down from the last one, in my opinion, where it felt like they were just kind of bringing in all these characters just to have them there. Whereas the last one, there was a lot of emotional depth to, what they were doing, why they were there. They all had their motivations. And in this one, it just seems like, let's just get everyone together and let's just have a fun Ghostbusters movie, which, to be fair, a lot of people can have a lot of fun with. But I think it's just a little bit emotionally vacant for me, in my opinion. And that's what kind of sucked, because it was the emotionality of the last movie that really brought me into it. So yeah, I mean, you have all these characters in this movie, and they all sort of feel underserved in a certain way or another. You know, you have I would say like Finn Wolfhard's character and Podcast and the other girl from the first movie that are in this one. You can take them out of this movie, and the plot would not change. And that sucks to say, because again, I really liked them in the last movie. But you know, I think for me, this movie is really carried by McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, and newcomer to the cast, Kumail Nanjiani. Just because they're both, you know, they're all fun and they're interesting, and they're able to sort of act their way out of the very flat material that they're given. But they're just enjoyable performers to watch. So I did enjoy the scenes that they were in. But as far as how their characters progressed through the movie, it all just sort of felt like it took too long to get going. You know, it felt like the second act of this movie was almost the whole movie. Like the second act was like almost an hour of the whole thing. And once we finally got to the plot and we finally got things going where, okay, we're now going to go bust this ghost, it was just kind of too late for me at that point. So as much as good as they did, everything else just sort of fell apart for me. And I wanted to enjoy myself more than I did with this one.
That's totally fair. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. I do agree that it was a little like it didn't have that same heart like emotions the last one did, but again, that was the one that Jason Reitman did for his dad and for Harold Ramis, so that definitely had a lot more going for it. Where this one, yeah, it is a cash grab. I mean, hate to say it, what movie isn't half the time, especially with like a popular name like this one. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun with it. But you also make a good point that some of the newer characters from the last one didn't really have to be in it, but you know, at the same time they were likable, like how you said you liked him in the last one. So I'm sure that was the decision to bring him back for most people. But overall, I think this is a very fun movie for the spring season. You know, I would say it would probably even better a little bit summer, just because, you know, it takes place during the summer. But again, I think it's that season ahead kind of thing, like getting people ready for that. I don't know. With everything being said, you know, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But is it bad? I don't think so. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, just because I think the cast really did propel the movie the best. They did try and juggle some plot lines that Byrne kind of hinted at that were, you know, at the time I didn't notice it, but I'm sure the more, if I saw it again, or the more I think about it, it'll probably irk me a little bit. But yeah, like I said, it was just a lot of fun. I love the Ghostbusters franchise just because it's spooky, hilarious, all that good stuff. Before I give it to Burns' review, would I personally recommend it for theaters? Probably $5 Tuesday for most people. I just don't think it's worth the full ticket or IMAX or anything like that. But yeah, so 3 out of 5 for me, Burn.
Yeah, and for me, it's going to be a 2 out of 5. Like I mentioned, there are certain moments that, you know, are really, there's some fun action set pieces, there's some fun character moments. Overall, it's a lot funnier than the last one, so I think you'll have some enjoyment there, especially with Paul Rudd and Kumail Nanjiani's characters. But yeah, it was like, again, for me, it was the heart that was missing. You know, the frozen empire was the cold heart at the center of this movie, where it just felt like we're just kind of paint by numbers and we're just going through the motions with arguably these characters that mean a lot to a lot of people. So I feel Ghostbusters fans deserve a little better than this, and something a little bit more akin to Afterlife than Frozen Empire. But yeah, certainly you can have fun with it. Like Ryan mentioned, you know, a $5 Tuesday thing would not be so bad. Just go in knowing like there's not a lot here for you except for just some fun moments, and maybe you can have a decent time with the ride. But for me, it wasn't enough to keep me, like, it's not one that I'm gonna revisit anytime soon, and that's unfortunate to say, because the last one, like I mentioned, got things off on a really good start, and it's sad that this one kind of fumbled it, but who knows where this is going to go at this point. Hopefully they would get Jason Reitman back to direct and inject this thing with the heart that it deserves. But yeah, 2 out of 5 for me. You can have a decent time with it. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd want a third one, in all honesty, because even if this one was that good, like the original one never did a third one. I guess Afterlife is supposed to be the one to end it all, but yeah, if they do make a third one, hopefully we get Jason Reitman back, and hopefully they could have they can finally inject that life into it that it kind of needs just to stay relevant for the most part. But yeah, for anyone who did catch this movie this last weekend, what did you think of it? Did you have fun with it, or was it just a giant hodgepodge with some fun in it, kind of like what Burn's thinking? We'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. And yeah, until next time, everyone, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.